Hello and welcome back, everyone, to some more Super Mario Odyssey 80% Tournament Season 2. We've got LilKirbs 14 versus TYRN18. No face cam on the left. We got face cam on the right. I am Scotch and Ty Guy. You can call me Scotch. In the booth with me once again is Dangers. How you feel about this race, man?
Good day, good day, good day. How's it going? I feel really good about this race. You know, these are some very strong competitors that we have here today. TYRN bursting through the scene in the last couple of months, taking the second place spot. LilKirbs, of course, making a name for himself in Super Mario Odyssey, has the world record at some point or another in a couple of places in history, and has always been kind of known as a front runner for going for some of the harder strats, going for some of the riskier things, and, you know, really having it pay off for him. So this should be a very fun race to watch.
Yeah, definitely two guys who are well known in this community once again. Looks like we've got the countdown and we've got the start. 15 seconds negative on the clock, setting up for that DSTA that we'll see later in sand. But we are good to go for Cap Kingdom.
And, you know, continuing the saga of North America versus Europe. Europe taking another win in that race. We have ourselves another matchup here, LilKirbs versus TYRN. TYRN hailing from the land of pasta, Italy itself. LilKirbs, the American candidate here. So another showdown between the continents. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top here. Both of these runners have a pretty strong chance of taking this victory home. It'll be a nail-biter for sure.
Well, off to this start. TYRN with a slight advantage just based off of movement. Really nice on both sides of the screen, though, so far.
Honestly, the difference coming down to the rolls at the beginning, which is not something that's entirely in your control anyways. So yeah, TYRN taking that half a second lead early on here. LilKirbs getting a weird up throw there. Maybe intended, but losing a little bit of time. And yeah, letting you guys know that this race here, unlike the last one, is live. These guys are reacting in real time. They are running as we speak. TYRN actually a little bit confused by the looks of it as to what happened to that left side. I'm gonna have to back it up. And giving LilKirbs the lead, going into Cascade.
Yeah, so TYRN having the advantage to start, but losing it with that left side movement, kind of shaking his head, being like, nah, that didn't happen. But heading out of here around 204, 205 on LilKirbs side, 208 on TYRN's side, so 4 to 3 second difference. But we are now into Cascade. Just grabbing 5 moons.
Nice little quick jaunt through the Waterfall Kingdom. The first one being this first Power Moon here. Essentially our only expectation here. And TYRN, he's actually kind of baffled, I think, by what is happening on the screen in front of him, getting the weird dives, going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, not too happy about that as a start, but gonna gonna walk over by the Odyssey real quick before heading on to Madame Brutal.
Dino skip looking pretty nice. LilKirbs has a setup very quick. Tyrone following suit. So yeah, keeping the gap real tight, real close, despite some of the mistakes that have happened here for Tyrone. And the first real hang-up of Cascade Kingdom is on the way. Going to be going for that chest clip after this Madame Brutal fight. So both getting the final hit. Pretty clean, pretty solid stuff. And whether or not these guys go for the chest clip could determine the lead coming out of Cascade. If they both play it safe, then LilKirbs will be holding on. But I have seen Tyrone go for the chest clip in his previous races.
LilKirbs heading on over for this chest clip.
A little far to the left. It can be kind of risky over there, but he is going to be making it through. Tyrone looks to be doing just fine as well, so both nailing that chest clip. Good stuff.
Going to be heading out of here around 5:33 on LilKirbs side, 5:36, 5:37 on Tyrone's side. So another guy giving an inch. Maintaining that 3 seconds worth of difference that we saw out of Cap.
And both getting the fast action guide there, too. Very nice.
Having a couple problems there on LilKirbs' side.
Just a couple graphical errors. Oh, and it looks like he's shut down. Going to be coming back momentarily. Just a little bit of technical difficulties. Meanwhile, all eyes on Tyrone. Going for the DSTA movement. And an interesting ground pound. Not really sure what happened there. But he's going to be grabbing that bird just in time. And LilKirbs' feed is back here, so we're just going to let the time go and catch up a little bit here. We do see that he is still in the lead.
As we get out of here, grab that potted plant moon. Nice on both sides of the screen, able to get it. Sneak behind these shopkeepers.
And rolling across the desert now. LilKirbs with that nice spin pound on top of the dune. Tyrone right behind. Did kind of have to set up his spin pound just a little bit safer there. Oh, and the very fancy up throw roll cancel from LilKirbs to get that moon. Tyrone following suit. Both very flashy stuff. And Dram coming up here now. LilKirbs the first to set it up. Getting it with style. Sending the bullet bill on his way, but actually didn't get the ground pound. So he's going to be having to go for a single bill, but so is Tyrone, accidentally grabbing the side of the crate. So yeah, actually both going to be missing out on the single bill strategy here. And the backup was a little bit risky for LilKirbs. Almost just crashed headfirst right into the bullet bill, but he's going to be keeping his lead, preserving it through that section.
And now the guy having trouble with that lone pillar. Picking up this other bullet bill. Breaking this block.
And going back for another one to send our way to the Jaxi ruins. Doing the Jaxi skip here. Potentially risky opportunity here. If you hit the wrong part of that platform, it can spell disaster. You would get sent all the way back to town as a result of that. Both these guys getting it just fine.
It's going to come down to how well these guys can do notes. As we finish up sand, whether or not LilKirbs maintains this lead.
Oh, and it could come down to this. LilKirbs' momentum just completely dying on his way over to the tree. And you can see that TYRN making up a little bit of the time as a result of that. Didn't get the single throw on TYRN's side, but did back it up very swiftly with a regular throw. And on their way to the Odyssey now. And just like that, TYRN has closed the gap just a tiny bit. We're probably only about 3 seconds apart now.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 10:25 and 10:27, so 2 seconds of difference between these two guys. So TYRN making up 1 second of here in sand.
Neither of them had like the absolute cleanest sand in the world either, so just appears that TYRN's mistakes were just slightly advantageous over LilKirbs. But Lake Kingdom can change that in a heartbeat. We've got Lake Clip coming up here. And spin pound on that first moon. Very nice stuff. That coin stack bouncing away from these guys. Hopefully they weren't banking on that. Their coin counts look pretty good. Not going to have to worry.
Yeah, really important movement here. This Lake Clip.
And I'm not really sure where TYRN was able to get the time, but he already was approaching Lake Clip at about a second behind LilKirbs, and he's actually the first to get it here, getting it on the really fast setup. LilKirbs took a couple of tries to get his setup to work, and as a result of that, just like that, TYRN is going to be taking the lead.
Yeah, really nice there by TYRN. Maybe might be watching as he's playing. Noticing, you know, he's a little bit, he was only a second or two behind, could risk going for that faster setup. Able to reclaim that lead.
LilKirbs going for that switch to Joy-Con strategy. Getting the down throw into the cheap. TYRN not even opting for that. Just going to be keeping his Pro-Con, doing a ground pound into the little hole instead. Yeah, TYRN's got to be pretty satisfied about that Lake Kingdom.
Yeah, I should be globing sub 13. Really nice.
Leaving Lake Kingdom at a 13-15 for TYRN. LilKirbs trailing behind now by probably about the same margin that he was leading coming into Lake Kingdom, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. Yeah, just over 3. Into Wooded. And Wooded, of course, very notorious for being the hardest kingdom in this run, comparable to like the Rainbow Ride of Super Mario Odyssey. Lots of very tight technical tricks here. Just about anything could slip these guys up, and the lead would hand over right back.
I mean, you've got notoriously that nut clip and then also deep wood. If you mess up.
Yeah, you don't want to be finding yourself in there. No opportunity to warp out to the Odyssey or somewhere safe if you fall in the deep woods. You have to kind of manage your way out.
Gonna want to pay attention to this movement over this waterfall. Oh! TYRN just like that! Having difficulty. Oh, more difficulties with this waterfall movement. LilKirbs avoiding that tree route. Gonna go straight for the nuts.
Looked like TYRN was attempting to do some sort of charade bounce off of the side of the wall there, but was just a little bit too close for it to work, and instead bashing his head into the wall, not just once, but twice. And so now, not only did LilKirbs not go for the tree route, and it is going to be looking like he is taking a little bit of a lead just from that, but just from those mistakes, it's very likely that LilKirbs has taken the lead anyways. TYRN's movement very clean in the out-of-bounds section here. Just has one scary dive to kind of come back up onto the stage, and he's got it. So now, important thing to know here is that it is a little bit distorted. TYRN has still got to kind of get through this kingdom, but doesn't have to worry about the Piranha Plant Story Moon. He's going to be skipping that in favor of that Tree Moon. Meanwhile, LilKirbs still does need to get that. So you're going to see him do this Poison Hacks jump here. Doing a frame-perfect jump on top of the poison to avoid taking damage. But he is going to have to sit through a cutscene as a result.
Yeah, so we might see it actually sync up here in just a moment.
So this cutscene is agonizingly long, especially when you can see your opponent is kind of on your tail, trailing behind.
Oh man, it's going to be close here as far as the sync goes.
And yep, just like that, super close. Showing that even with those mistakes that TYRN had, that tree route really does kind of come in clutch. And he is going to be scraping by with just a barely second lead going into the tower here.
I mean, that's amazing, regardless of all those mistakes that TYRN had with the waterfall, maintaining the lead.
And just a little bit better movement in the tower as well from TYRN. Being able to squeak just a little bit of extra time out over LilKirbs here. Oh, and LilKirbs not getting his triple jump that he wanted there. Grabbing onto the edge, giving back another second. But they are within one moon grab animation of each other still, so looking at like 2 seconds.
All the side area can wreak some havoc, so it's just going to depend on this final movement here. We're going to do a nice job there. And LilKirbs following up behind as well. And just like that, we are out of wooded.
And TYRN can't be too upset with this run. There have been a couple of kind of wonky mistakes that have happened to him already, but he is going to be leaving Wooded Kingdom with that 18:26 exit time by the looks of it. And LilKirbs really not that far behind, leaving with a 28, maybe a 29. So still only 2.5 to 3 seconds separates these guys.
Yeah, that's been the whole. That's been the way the whole way through so far. I mean, they haven't gotten with it outside of 5 seconds of each other.
Yeah, the biggest difference might have been coming out of Cap Kingdom at the very beginning, but yeah, they've been trading the lead back and forth, kingdom by kingdom here. And now Cloud Kingdom. And of course, there is some difference in movement that you can do to get on top of this boss platform, but the boss fight itself is going to be relatively unchanged. Now, TYRN, you can see he is adjusting his camera, kind of going for the debate there. He thought about it. He was going to go for that Cloud hint art, but decided against it. Didn't want to take the time loss, just in case. TYRN in a bit of a weird spot to get that manip to work, but he is going to be managing that hat grab just fine. LilKirbs right behind him, maintaining that lead though. Going into Lost. And we've already talked about how scary Lost can be.
Yeah, we saw how it really wreaked havoc on MiiWii in the last race. Again, it's such precise movement, and there's not a whole lot of area to work with, and there's a whole lot of poison. So any minor mistake really could mean a death for either one of these guys.
Two very nice approaches to that meme tree jump. You see TYRN actually goes on the right side, does a double jump instead of the long jump. Can save yourself about half a second there as a result of that. A LilKirbs staying in nice and tight still. Triggering Klepto so that he will not bother us anymore. Doing that roll cancel around the stairs. Oh, and LilKirbs, his direction getting all kind of mangled there as he tries to make his way around. TYRN didn't look like he got the kind of angle or approach that he was looking for there. Very weird situation. Gonna have to give his hat back to the Trapedal in order to get this moon again. But as a result of that, we are actually about the same distance apart as we were a second ago. It hasn't really changed a whole lot.
Yeah, just trading blows back and forth. You know, LilKirbs with a couple of mistakes here. TYRN with a couple of mistakes there. Really nice getting out from underneath that bridge, though. Looks like it's gonna stay about 3 to 4 seconds worth of difference.
It's amazing. Even though the little mistakes are kind of like trading back and forth, and they're messing up some things, not very major things, but the position of the race is really unchanged. Yeah, looking at just under 3 seconds still, the difference with TYRN in the lead at the moment.
Well, hitting into Night Metro. Plenty of areas for mistakes on either side of the screen, but both these guys playing very, very well throughout. About halfway through this, we're getting close to the halfway point of this run. They will want to maintain this level of play through the second half.
Especially if they want to try and get an edge.
Yeah, it seems it's going to come down to someone making a big mistake in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's kind of how this thing goes, you know, it's a game of errors. You just try and play your best, you try and put on the best performance that you possibly can and hope that your opponent is more prone to mistakes than you are in that moment. Consistency really is the king. And TYRN here, maybe just trying to go for some safer strategies. We have seen him go for the Goomba Heck elevator strat before in the past. Not going for that this time. Just taking it the safe and easy way.
Oh, we've got a sync on the screen. Literally the exact same camera angle, too.
I'm not sure if maybe the camera was hacked. Yeah, I'm pretty much convinced that the video feed was all TYRN there for a second.
Yeah, just losing LilKirbs' video feed there for a moment. TYRN and LilKirbs both taking on this Mecha Wiggler though. And LilKirbs almost missing that first phase of the fight. Struggling with shots.
You can tell from the frustration. You don't even need to see his face to know that he was upset with that. Giving TYRN a little bit more wiggle room. And the second phase of the Wiggler fight coming up here. TYRN first to approach. Wiggler coming out of the wall on the right side. Usually this signals a pretty nice pattern. You're going to see him cross over the bottom left side of the screen early. And yeah, that's exactly what you want. TYRN's got to be pretty happy with that RNG. Meanwhile, LilKirbs is going to be getting a kind of similar pattern. He's going to start out at the top right and wiggle his way back down to the bottom left. So not the worst pattern to deal with, but definitely something that he's going to want to see after that first phase.
Well, TYRN going to be gaining some time there just based off of RNG and LilKirbs having difficulty with those shots there in the first phase.
Not a big deal. Maybe the biggest lead that we've seen so far in this race at this very moment. TYRN probably leading by about 8 seconds now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, again, these guys haven't separated over 5 seconds up to this point. So definitely the largest separation that we've seen so far.
TYRN getting that scoot clip nice and easy on the drive-by. Something that he used to say he didn't need or want to do, but now is nailing it consistently. No problems. LilKirbs, really clean execution on his scooter clip. Giving chase to TYRN here. TYRN just chatting with a bench friend. Having a casual meander through the Metro Kingdom. And yeah, we can almost expect to see both of these runners attempt to go for the slots room now. TYRN first to approach. Gonna be getting on the single spin throw just fine. Honestly, the hardest part of this new Metro route, in my opinion, is the slots. So very important that you try and nail it on the first go, and of course the amount of coins that you've collected along the way makes a really big difference as well. If you miss it on the first try and don't have enough coins to try again, it can really mess things up for you.
TYRN into this bullet building. LilKirbs going to be following closely behind. Looks like he's able to grab that bullet bill to finish this up.
Yep, solid victory from TYRN on the bullet building. LilKirbs right behind, doing the long jump across, the spin pound. Oh, and I'm not entirely sure what happened there. It didn't really look like his setup worked the way that he wanted it to, so LilKirbs actually going to be going for this kind of slower strategy to back it up. Taking the jumping poles to get this last moon. And, you know, TYRN squeaking away with even more of a lead now.
Yeah, these are the sort of mistakes that... Oh, TYRN! Just as we talk about mistakes. Mistake here by TYRN.
And also from LilKirbs,
Wow.
though. LilKirbs actually taking a dive off of the top of the building there and not able to grab this moon. That's very uncharacteristic. You don't see that happen a whole lot anymore. But he did get that very fast backup using that tarp on the right side to jump up. But yeah, very interesting, very strange stuff from both of these guys.
LilKirbs picking up that hint art there in the pool. Making sure his coin account is good. And TYRN is done here in Metro. Globing at 29-22 as LilKirbs is finishing up People's Room.
Got to grab both of these moons in this room before he can warp away. But yeah, the lead has substantially shifted in TYRN's favor here. TYRN going to be leaving Metro with a time of 43 on the clock. So this is still sub-hour pace for TYRN if he's able to clutch out some really good mid and late game plays here. LilKirbs, on the other hand, going to be coming in just a little bit later, just a touch later. Going to be leaving Metro at around 30-15. So the lead has definitely shifted, probably about 30 seconds between the two of them now.
Yeah, a bunch of mistakes there in Metro for LilKirbs. Really unfortunate. We'll want to see things clean up here. Starting in snow. I hope that TYRN doesn't continue to play on the level he currently is.
Yeah, LilKirbs is going to be hoping for some mistakes on TYRN's side. And hopefully being able to play clean himself. TYRN the first into Shiveria. Jump on this awning to get up to the top here. Grab this moon in the chest, and then on their way to the chest clip. We'll see if TYRN actually attempts to go for it here. Missing the spin pound. Gonna have to go for a backup strategy to try and set it up, but no, his backflip a little bit too late to work for the trick proper, so he's gonna have to come back through the hallway instead. Not a big deal. Only losing a couple seconds. And Blowy Joey room. Getting that nice triple jump with the extra momentum. Interesting. You can tell by his look that there was some sort of input drop potentially there as he tried to go for that ground pound and just didn't give it to him.
LilKirbs having difficulty with that ground pound as well. Not doing that clip either. Gets pretty good momentum. Nice ground pound there at the top of that archway.
So Kirbs making up a little bit of subtle time over TYRN here. And wow, actually getting the spinies off the platform very, very early there.
But getting that bonk there. Kind of unfortunate after having such a nice side area.
That's okay though, keeping the pace just fine. TYRN going to be the first to approach Snowdram here on the right side. Just got to purchase a shop moon, and then on his way. We'll see how Snowdram treats him today. We've already seen one fail from Mitch. Mitch trying to go for that setupless version. You're not going to see that very often in this league, I think. Probably a lot of runners going to be wanting to opt for some kind of setup just to make sure that they get the jump proper. And yeah, TYRN, very quick setup here. Got to be happy with that. Even getting that nice roll cancel bounce off of the Snowdram platform there too. Little swag points. Didn't even need to dive to get over. And LilKirbs Snowdram setup coming in hot here. Immediate first person strat with the setup, and yeah, his jump is good. LilKirbs of trick jumping fame, perhaps, making it look easy. But TYRN here with the commanding lead still. We're looking at still probably about 35 to 40 seconds of difference. TYRN with the lead. And not the greatest start in Seaside from TYRN. Not getting the climb up the top of the wall that he wanted. And also just barely sliding down the wall there and almost making the jump not work out for him. And yeah, lots of frustration from TYRN's side. You can tell just all the inputs just not working the way that they want to be working.
Yeah, you can clearly see on his side, just kind of a little frustrated with that start to Seaside. Might be succeeding a little bit of time here at LilKirbs, as long as he can get that done a little bit more cleanly. About 40 seconds worth of difference heading into Seaside. And LilKirbs executing that to near perfection.
Yep. Got to be happy with that. Going to be making up some of that time from TYRN. Still got a long ways to go, though. And just some basic fish movement from TYRN on the right side. LilKirbs going for that, riding the jet stream moon and missing the dive, getting up to the moon. But a very swaggy backup to make it up there after all. So just a couple seconds given back. But yeah, TYRN on the right side with the fish movement. Not a whole lot to really speak of in this part of the game. You're just trying to grab some quick underwater moons, go through some chasms, go through some tunnels, get the fast moons along the way. Dory's over here just chilling, having a good time.
Yeah, this is the nice thing about Seaside. Oh, unfortunately, LilKirbs moving away from that moon, that chest moon before grabbing it. So maybe losing another second to TYRN there. But yeah, Seaside, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Nothing too crazy other than that beginning movement. And of course, this clip, TYRN executing it fairly nicely. Just doesn't want to clip back in. Should be far enough out there. And he's fine.
Looks to be good. And with this final moon, he's going to be out of Seaside on his way to probably the largest struggle of the post-game, or not the post-game, but the late game, that being the Luncheon Kingdom.
Yeah, Luncheon Kingdom can do its work. Definitely a longer section for these guys. Good clip there from LilKirbs. 37:44 exit for TYRN.
So not the worst. Sub-hour is looking to be very, 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 very unlikely at this point. He could still clutch it out if he is able to play godlike towards the end of the game here. And the Salt Pile triple from TYRN. First strategy in Luncheon Kingdom. Making it look easy. Staying up on the top of that ledge there. Not getting exactly the roll direction that he probably wanted, but making it look smooth anyways. And that second moon on his way now to this Spewer fight. First time we see him in this run. So long as you don't miss the nut clip.
LilKirbs taking care of his salt triple jump as TYRN is finishing up that fight. Good job on both sides of the screen with those respective strategies. But out of Seaside, LilKirbs with a net loss of about a second to TYRN. Oh, just narrowly missing a bonk there.
Yeah, was able to get the wall jump instead and make his way up on the top of the platform. You can see with TYRN's reaction, just like the game not necessarily reacting exactly the way that he wants. Also, not necessarily working out in his favor here either. Maybe going to go for the checkpoint flag here, yeah, to avoid the damage refill. Yeah, he doesn't even know what's up there. That wall, I can attest to it being very tricky to kind of manage. It'll heck you around quite a bit.
Well, you were saying this in the last race, and it's good to reiterate the way that the polygons are in Luncheon are just kind of sketchy, and you know, even casually speaking, it's difficult. You know, there are areas where it seems that Mario isn't able to run across or even land on, regardless of it appearing as if he could. So kind of tricking the eye to a degree.
Exactly. Sometimes Cappy just kind of gets eaten by the walls as well, which can be very frustrating. Sometimes you'll kind of catch yourself on the edge of walls. There's just a lot of stuff that can kind of go wrong as a result of these weird polygonal shapes. In this fork room. Nice clean execution there by TYRN. Just got to make his way over now to this final moon, gather it, and leave this sub area. Both of these guys executing the camera manipulous version of that Potaboo cycle just fine. And as TYRN leaves the Forks room, LilKirbs maybe getting an input drop there or something like that. It didn't look like he got the input that he wanted. TYRN leaving the Forks room now. And on his way to the cheese moon. Getting a little bit of a ledge grab off the side of that cheese. But otherwise going to be okay. Smashing through those cheese blocks real fast. And getting this kind of... I wouldn't say that it is necessary, but in order to go fast, we do kind of have to sit through this cutscene. It'll activate the meat multi-moon and allow us to get 3 very quick moons and go back to the Odyssey in fast succession here. So getting that story moon is important. Also opens up this very fast moon here, this one in the torch.
Good movement over the mountainside here. Oh, almost took a fall there. Could have easily taken a death with that ground pound, but able to avoid it.
Yeah, that mountainside geography really hecking him up again. Not really clear where the walls begin and end. So, still holding on to a lead though.
Yeah, kind of putting his hands up in the air like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, get this Luncheon Kingdom out of my face.
So LilKirbs will likely net some time here out of luncheon.
Did look like he was able to pull it off just a little bit cleaner than TYRN was. But yeah, still coming in just a little bit behind. Still got to grab this multi-moon. Still got to watch the cutscene. Whereas TYRN is globing and leaving the kingdom now. So yeah, sub-hour pace, looking to be a pipe dream. We could still come out of this run with a very low 100 though. If TYRN plays on the top of his game for the rest of the game, we could be looking at a 100X, probably a 1001X, if I had to guess.
Well, into ruined now. 44-41. The LilKirbs looking at about 34 seconds of difference, so making up a little bit of time. This is what he likes to see, but into ruined now. And as we go through this area, a couple of things regarding GSA, exclamation point schedule in the chat to see the full schedule of everything that GSA has going on. Exclamation point bracket, see where all your favorite runners are at. Exclamation point merch for some shirts and some hoodies, fresh clean looks. Exclamation point YT and exclamation point YouTube for the YouTube channel, where all of our runs, our previous runs, are rerun. If you missed a run or if you just want to rewatch something, it's all there, and some clips too, so make sure to check that out. And exclamation point Onyx, easy way to support us here at GSA. Play Golf Clash, get some points, get 500 points, you get a free sub. Make sure to check that out.
Who doesn't love free subs?
TYRN just about finishing up the dragon here.
Not getting the cap throws in the direction that he wants. Yeah, a little bit of a grimace there as he finishes up the dragon fight. LilKirbs still got one phase to go, though. So as long as TYRN plays clean, he will be able to clutch out a win here.
Coming into the last 15 minutes, there's a lot going on there. You know, Bowser Kingdom, you got Moon Kingdom, you got that Mecha Brutal fight, second Bowser fight, and then of course that ending. $47.25 out of ruined for TYRN. Again, like I said, out of luncheon, 34 seconds worth of difference. And we have a little bit glitchy over on LilKirbs' side. Should be able to get a good time out of ruined for LilKirbs.
Both of these guys still on 100 pace for sure, though. So playing it safe, playing it nice and clean, can still net them some really good times. And yeah, LilKirbs going to be trying to get as many points out of this as he can.
Yeah, he's only 33 seconds behind. And there's plenty of time, plenty of space for LilKirbs to make up that time.
Certainly. Each one of these chunks that we're going through here, kind of a representative checkpoint, I suppose, of the Bowser Kingdom. And, you know, you don't want to really make any mistakes in this one, or else you go back to the beginning of them. So TYRN leaving that platform that LilKirbs is on now. Essentially, LilKirbs just have to wait for the story mode cutscenes. TYRN onto the shards portion now. He's got 3, he's got 4. Rolling his way over to this one now. And he's got 5. Doing the dive back strategy to get over the top of these Pokios. And yeah, he's got to be happy with this Bowser's Kingdom so far. Not giving any wiggle room to LilKirbs. We're going to see do the shards himself now. Ooh, and with the motion control homing strategy there. Otherwise would have missed the shard, but very quick thinking by LilKirbs to not lose any time.
I mean, he's playing really nicely here. You know, trying his best to make up some time, play as cleanly as possible. But TYRN not giving any wiggle room, as you said. And here we head into this Harriet topper situation. TYRN going for Harriet first.
Yeah, it appears so. That nice and clean line, not doing any sort of baiting here. Sticking true.
Curb setting up the dram. Gets it.
And the nice dive angle there to that final pylon to get to this boss platform. Both of these runners within the same fight of each other now, basically. So, again, the lead is very small in comparison. And just about anything can go wrong still.
Yeah, no difference in philosophy either. Both these guys going Harriet first. So not going to see any change as far as that goes.
Both executing on that fur Harriet strat as well. Getting those early hits with the bombs back to Harriet.
Wow, LilKirbs. Super quick topper fight.
Yeah, very technically precise there. Getting those tiny little optimizations, just staying nice and close to top for the entire time. Getting that final hit, and now on his way to that story moon. Giving chase to TYRN. TYRN's in the crates. Big fan of TYRN's eyebrow raise. Every single time you see something maybe not go exactly the way he was expecting. But he's got the moon. He's on his way up this climbing wall here. And you know, if LilKirbs wants to take back the lead, all it would take from TYRN maybe is just a mess up in this fight. If he falls down, if he misses target acquired, maybe if he misses topper acquired, if he falls off the mech at any point, LilKirbs is right back in this race. Nice and clean climb from TYRN here. Going to be attempting the topper acquired strategy here. Getting the dive, getting the spin pound before the Mecha Wiggler is even able to move. And as TYRN approaches the second phase of this fight, getting that third hit on the bubble, LilKirbs making his climb up. TYRN setting himself up for target acquired.
Oh! The exact mistake that you were talking about there. Huge opportunity here for LilKirbs to make up a ton of time.
You can see the frustration. TYRN not happy with that at all. And he's going to be grabbing this Pokio and climbing his way back up. He's got to make his way up the side. Getting the ground pound on the bubble. Lucky for him, LilKirbs still has his hits to go. Spin pound, and LilKirbs is going to nail the target acquired strategy here.
What a way to bring it close here. TYRN messing up that last ground pound. Staying in the back, he's dropping inputs there. Really unfortunate to see, you know. But now heading into Moon, this is a much, much closer race.
Yeah, just like that. What was once a 35-second lead has shrunk down to probably about 5. And it all comes down to Moon Kingdom now.
Yeah, Moon Kingdom, not something to sleep on. You know, you got those wall kicks up to the cathedral. And we saw last match, you know, that it's not as easy as it looks.
Absolutely. That Moon Cave can certainly heck you. You know, we almost saw Mitch jump directly off of the cliff in that last race, and that would send you back to the Odyssey and lose you almost a minute's worth of time. So, you know, just about anything can still happen in Moon Kingdom. These runners have it kind of under their belts for the most part, but that doesn't mean that things can still go wrong.
55-25 from TYRN, and a 55-32, so 7 seconds worth of difference. Mutilated Puppet, thank you so much for the subscription. Subscription hype in the chat would be much appreciated. 7 seconds, though, between these two guys. TYRN with the slight lead. Any minor mistake, though, can easily give LilKirbs the advantage.
So let's see how it plays out here. TYRN the first to roll across the Moon Kingdom. Setting up for a triple jump vector here. Weaving back and forth to get those optimal vectors. Doesn't look like he's going to make it all the way across. Going to have to take the dive. LilKirbs the second to approach this. His vectors look about the same. Going to have to take a cap throw dive even to make up the gap. So TYRN with the optimal line here comparatively. But he's going to be across. And now Moon Cave skip, like we said. One infamous thing that can really happen here is if you go for the Moon Cave skip, what you can try to do is do a single jump, but sometimes the single jump strategy can actually just steal your cap bounce. Luckily, TYRN is going to be able to make it up just fine. LilKirbs, second to approach. Not going to even bother with the single strat, the single jump strat. He's just going to do a backflip up on top of this bridge. These guys are on their way into the cathedral now. Looks like TYRN was able to make up even a little bit more of a lead as a result of that.
Yeah, just a little bit more optimal through that. And, oh no! Really unfortunate grab there for TYRN.
Looked like maybe an input was dropped again for him. And closing the gap. LilKirbs now only about 2 seconds behind. And it is really going to come down to this. Will TYRN be able to pull it out for Team Europe? Keep the sweep going? Or is LilKirbs going to be able to clutch this out? It's really going to come down to the pillar room at this point. This final phase for the Bowser hat is probably the easiest one to grab. And they are done the first two.
I just gotta jump over Bowser's flames here. Don't want to take any damage. One more cap grab.
TYRN's got it. LilKirbs has got it. 2 seconds separates these guys going into the escape sequence.
I mean, we've seen a lot of close. I don't know what it is, but Super Mario Odyssey is just infamous for close races. And this is a close one once again as we get into this final sequence. Grabbing Bowser and heading into those pillars.
Yep, it is really neck and neck here. On the edge of my seat, really, if LilKirbs has a cleaner escape, that's all it could really take to bring these guys to a tie.
Well, and if LilKirbs can get some early pillars as well.
Tyron's got that first pillar on lock. The bridge comes down onto his way to the 2D section.
59-15 into that 2D section. 59-18, 3 seconds were the difference.
2D skip from Tyrone looks good. LilKirbs looks good. Up the stairs, busting open these blocks, jumping their way up. Tyrone's out of the 2D section here. LilKirbs still only about 2 seconds behind now. Into the pillar room, and it's all going to come down to this.
I mean, LilKirbs has got to be hoping for some accuracy here. Tyrone has to be hoping that none of these falling rocks get in his way. That first one just a little too far right.
First fireball not looking good. Gonna have to fire an extra one. LilKirbs looks like he's firing an extra one just to be safe anyways. And actually misses that. Gonna have to fire some safety shots, lays them back. Tyrone, I don't know what's going on his end. He's not happy with these pillars. His shots are just all over the place. But it did look like he got that first pillar down, whereas LilKirbs was not able to. And Tyrone having some more difficulties with that final pillar, but he is on the final platform at the very end. This could not have gotten any closer than it is now.
I mean, both these guys are going to be grabbing plenty of points, so they'll both be happy with that finish. But GG's to Tyrone, a 1:00.43 and a 1:00.45, 2 seconds worth of difference between these guys. I mean, what a way to finish.
Man, you can tell by the look on Tyrone's face that that run did not go the way that he would have wanted it to. But coming out clutch with the victory anyways by 2 seconds. And I think we're going to get these guys in for a little bit of an interview. LilKirbs the first to join the call. LilKirbs, how's it going?
Hi, it's going all right.
It's going all right. Tell us a little bit about that race. I don't think we could have expected it to be quite as close at the end there. You traded the lead back and forth a lot in the early game. Tyrone kind of got away from you, and then a very unfortunate fall from Tyrone in the Bowser's Kingdom kind of brought you guys back together. So what was going through your mind when the lead closed up again like that?
Well, I wasn't looking at my splits or where Tyrone was the entire run. So I was just playing the best that I could the entire run. There was a portion in Day Metro where it kind of fell apart for a little bit, but I think I got on track eventually. And then through Bowser's and Moon, I played as well as I could. I kind of messed up in pillars, which is unfortunate. I think that actually cost me the race, but it was a good race though.
Yeah, you can say that again. Very, very close result. Tyrone obviously probably can say kind of the same thing about your pillar room, but I want to hear what's going through your head when the input drop happened in the mech fight.
I was immensely pissed off, like a lot. I wasn't watching the stream, so I don't know where Kirbs was. So I was even more frustrated because I thought it was like gonna win, like for real. I thought it was gonna be ahead, to be honest. I got lucky, I guess. And then in Pillar Room, I've had some issues, I see.
Just a couple missed fireballs from both of you, really.
Jesus. And to be honest, well, I opened the stream up when I split, and I saw like I was like missing everything. Like I knew I was missing everything, but I didn't know if he was missing anything or not. So when I saw him like he didn't get an early pillar, I was a little bit less stressed, but still freaking stressed.
And that last pillar too was like the most stressful part, perhaps, because it just didn't fall, and you took a couple extra throws. So, but you know, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I guess the lead that you had going into the mid game was enough to kind of pull you through and clutch out the win here. So
yeah, GG, dude. That was actually a good race. Not gonna lie,
GG.
especially at the end. Come on, Kagiga.
Yep, GG's to both racers. So Tyrone barely squeaking out the win means he's going to be getting 60 points. LilKirbs coming by with the most that he can out of a lost, which is 30 points. So we're going to take a brief intermission, I think. That is going to be all from commentary from me. I don't know if, Scotch, you're going to be continuing, but the next race we have coming up in just a short intermission here, Tyler Tech versus Chaos Pringle. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.